Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Siriana Tarot. This is going to be a new moon in Aquarius reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. This reading covers the period from January 24th, when we have our new moon in Aquarius, to February 24th, when we have our new moon in Pisces. Just for a little background information, this new moon in Aquarius is the perfect time to release and let go of attachment. The water bearer is the most detached sign of all and confuses some of us, especially those of us with heavy water in our charts, because it's actually an air sign. So use this time to ask yourself if you're giving yourself the space to express the true you or your own unique self. Aquarius is the sign that doesn't care much for convention, so express the real you, weird bits and all. Harness the power of this new moon to come up with a new invention or a creative solution to a problem that you guys might have been having. The Aquarius energy helps us to look forward to the future and see what's next. It's a very fashion-forward sign, so it's time to go through your closets, get rid of things that you don't like or that don't bring you joy, and keep the things or wear the things that make you feel good, make you feel sexy, make you feel beautiful, make you feel handsome, okay? Or go ahead and buy something new that's an expression or an extension of who you really are. Excuse me. It also rules technology and progress, so if you guys have been in a rut, now's the time to make those changes that you desperately need. It's a time to get out and to be social, to be funny, enjoy relating to bigger groups of people. Aquarius is also a humanitarian sign, so it's time for you guys to start giving back, okay? Also, go ahead and check in with your friends and your family and see how people are doing, all right? This new moon spread that I'm about to do for you will help you identify your intentions, show you how to cultivate and eventually manifest those intentions. By the next full moon that we have in Leo, or the next new moon that we have in Pisces. All right, Taurus. So let's go ahead and get into this reading. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. We're going to go ahead. We're going to ask spirit, angels, ancestors, loved ones who have passed, and spirit guides. What messages do you have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs? What messages do you have for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for this new moon in Aquarius reading? Messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs for this new moon in Aquarius reading. Okay. All right, you guys, your overall energy is Virgo energy of the hermit. This is really interesting because this is all about taking time for yourself, maybe turning off your phones, getting away from it all, really not focused on the things of the 3D, materialism, cars, things, electronics, and that sort of thing. It could be something that you have been doing. You might have been in isolation mood, sort of cutting yourself off from all of those things, and really focused on your spiritual journey. Some of you might have just felt really isolated, or you might have felt really excluded and sort of really needed this time for yourself to think. The hermit is also this time, during Aquarius is a very creative and sort of forward-thinking sign, and it's all about being unique. So for some of you as well, the hermit is the card number 9, and that's the gestation period of humans, right? Or like what, when we get pregnant versus, until the time when we give birth. And so So it's also about, for those of you who are creating something and you guys have been working on it, and maybe it's been behind closed doors, and the crazy artist needs that time to create his masterpiece, and now is the time to step out, stand in the light, show everybody what you've done, what you've come up with, and also show everybody your brilliance, okay? Underneath that, we do have the Prince of Swords in reverse. It could be that somebody has been spying on you or you've been spying on someone else. So while you've been off creating this masterpiece, you've been doing your spiritual journey, while maybe you've been working with a new teacher or, reading, a new philosopher or something like that. I feel like people have been watching you and they're kind of, I get this energy of they're like kind of wanting to steal your ideas, and that's why you've kind of been closed off. But I don't want you guys to get totally paranoid. Again, this is the card of spying. It could be you, it could be somebody else, it could be Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy. It could also be that you were moving in a direction and that came to a screeching halt. Okay, because the Prince of Swords can be is a student, is somebody who's, decided to move in a new direction. They're very gung-ho about it, but in the reverse, it's not moving forward, or for some reason it had to stop. Here we have the Princess of Pentacles. That's somebody who plans, somebody who's prepared. I mean, the Princess and the Prince of Swords, right? It could also speak to a couple. It could be the ending of a relationship or somebody that decided to walk away from a relationship. But the Princess of Pentacles, she's the most prepared court card. I mean, obviously, out of the younger ones, out of the princesses, she's somebody, again, she takes copious notes. She's completely ready to take on whatever she's about to. She knows everything that she needs. Some people will say that she's, a bit precocious, seems a little bit older, or knows more about this topic than she should, but she just is missing a little bit of life experience. There could be an ending here. Again, I do feel like this might be a couple. Okay, this could be a couple. But I do get the prince and the princess, or it could be two siblings, but something has come to an end. The 10 of Wands, it's very sort of apocalyptic. Things got too heavy, maybe moved too quickly, and it just became too much, or was too much responsibility. And so that's why maybe somebody had to break out on their own or call it quits to whatever this was. Again, it could be a job. It could be, your own creative project. I am getting that someone out there is creating something very artistic, or using their hands to manipulate, to create, to build. Okay. And underneath that, we have the 7 of Wands, and the 7 of Wands is all about defending yourself, and standing up for yourself, standing your ground after a victory. But it is in reverse, so it's like it's telling me here that, maybe there wasn't a victory where you thought there would be, or there was a victory, but it was short-lived, and you didn't realize how difficult it was going to be to maintain that, so you really had to branch off and go on your own. Go out on your own. Now, the 4 of Cups energy is your energy. Where are you right now? This is somebody who's a little bit bored, somebody who's not happy, someone who also has everything that they need, but they can't quite seem to grasp that, or they can't quite seem to see it. So really, don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't let your analytical mind get in the way of you receiving what is due, or what is yours, or seeing the beauty that is all around you, Taurus, okay? This is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. You might have that in your chart. You might be dealing with somebody who's exhibiting those qualities. Okay, but what's blocking you is this was a Tower moment. So again, for some of you, it's going to be that breakup of that relationship between the Prince of Swords and the Princess of Pentacles. But it could also be, these two warring sides of yourself, okay, where you've really decided to take down, a behavior pattern, or get rid of, a relationship or an action or something that you were doing that wasn't serving your highest good. And you really had to sort of go away for a while and just do you and figure things out, and sort of shut everybody down. But now is the time to come out of that. And you really can't let this ending, whatever it was, whether it was a relationship, whether it was your attachment to materialism, because for some of you, I'm seeing that you were kind of like, you know what, I'm getting too caught up in the 3D. I'm getting too caught up in needing things and having the best phone, having the nicest house, having the nicest clothes, and it's really time to take that tower down. And I feel like you did, but you have to let it go now. Okay, now it's time to rebuild. Setting your intentions, we have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. The 6 of Pentacles is all about balance. I am getting here this like really, really strong asceticism coming through for my Taurians. I'm getting that some of you are really, really unhappy, maybe with a relationship that was built on too much materialism, or maybe sort of shunning the material world. because the Six of Pentacles is all about balance. It's all about an equal give and take, but it's in the reverse. So it's like all about imbalance. So you're trying to bring balance back into your life, but I feel like the pendulum had to swing so far to the other side. So and then like now it's going to be coming back into the middle. All right. The Six of Pentacles in reverse takes me to the Five of Pentacles, which is a hard road to walk. It's the people who are injured, the people who are in sackcloth, people who have like ratty-tatty clothing, and they've decided to sort of like take this journey, even though it wasn't going to be an easy one, or it was one that sort of shunned convention. And I'm getting some people weren't quite happy about it, especially if you have parents or you have spouses, but in order to learn, in order to grow. So I am getting some of you have either gone on a spiritual journey where you had to leave family, materialism, and things like that behind. Some of you might have started traveling and been to like poorer countries and seen how there's not so much a necessity for them to have the nicest car, the nicest clothes, but, you know, sharing food, breaking bread, campfires, you know, nature, and how those things are more important. So you guys might be on your own journey, Taurus, of sort of shedding the 3D, shedding that materialism. I think that really sort of had you bored. I feel like some of you come from a nice environment. Some of you come from affluent families or have a lot of things, and you're realizing that it's not bringing you the happiness that you thought it would, or you're feeling somehow like you're missing something. And so you really have gone out or are going out onto that journey to try to figure out who you are, what you want, what is your authentic self, you know, because the more that we adorn ourselves with clothing and with things, you know, and I mean, I love fashion, I like makeup, and I like to look nice and that sort of thing, but you know, I mean, it is an extension and expression of who we are, but then also if we're not doing it with intention and we're doing it just to fit in, then we can lose sight of who we are. And I feel like that's something that you've had to do, that you're breaking away from the norm. You're breaking away from the pack. You're doing what we're supposed to be doing in this Aquarian energy, is finding out who you are in the midst of being part of a larger thing, humanity, your family, your company, your partnerships, whatever that might be. All right, so I know this is a little bit of an esoteric reading for you guys, Taurus. It's not what I saw coming at all, but I definitely see this as being a spiritual journey, and I definitely see it as sort of this, the tower is like breaking down materialism, or your attachment to materialism, or maybe you were part of a group of people or a family that was very materialistic, and you're walking away from it because it didn't bring you balance. And people are kind of looking at you like, why would you do that? Why would you go decide to like walk across the United States or something like that and do it with, you know, $300 in your pocket? Like something, it's like something like that, some sort of journey, okay, where you're kind of like shunning luxury, and you're, you know, you've decided to like you've decided to take the high road, but not take the easiest road. And I think people are kind of like, why? You don't have to, you know, you have enough money, or your parents would help you, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, no, I've got to do this on my own. That's the energy here that I'm getting from this. It's really cool, actually. The information that you need to help to cultivate your intentions, this is the Two of Wands. This is like, you've had this sort of realization, you've had this understanding, or you will have this understanding, and now it's just up to you to choose which direction you can go in, right? So now that, like, I feel like once you've sort of like unpacked and peeled back some of the layers, you've taken some of the materialism, you've taken away some of the bling, and now you can sort of see the situation for what it really is, or see yourself for really your authentic self and what it is you need, and how to express yourself. Now it's time to choose which direction you go in. And I think you guys are realizing that you have a lot of different options, you know, that the world is your oyster. You can go anywhere, you can do anything, you know. And then once you're not attached, so remember Aquarius is being part of this, the energy is, you know, all about detachment. Once you realize you're not so attached to your phone or to your job or to your relationship or to your family or whatever, that you're an independent individual expression, you know, of yourself, then you can really take that anywhere. And that's a really beautiful thing. The positive energy that's going to emerge during this phase is the King of Swords. Now, the King of Swords is somebody who's very analytical, somebody who's very generous, somebody who's very black and white, somebody who's very authentic, somebody who's very truthful, someone who stands in their truth, okay, and somebody very assertive and very ambitious. But this card is coming up in the reverse, which is a little bit of a weird sort of positive outcome card. But I think I'm understanding what's happening here. Okay, because the King of Swords is all about standing in his truth. And I feel like you felt like whatever you were doing before, okay, whether it was a relationship, okay, so take this how it resonates, right? Or whether it's, it was, you were working a 9-to-5 job, you were a cubicle person, whatever it was, or you were really attached to like this Western industrialized society where we're so attached to the outcome, progress, the results, that we forget to sort of enjoy the journey, and we kind of forget who we are and what we're doing. And I feel like you're dethroning that part of yourself, or you might just be bucking the system. I mean, we could look at the King of Swords as sort of that system, as that black and white, the industrialized society. For some of you, you guys are actually traveling. You're taking trips. I feel like you're going to India, you're going to Nepal, you're taking spiritual journeys. Some of you are just going off the grid, doing sort of like off the grid living, housing, etc. Okay. And I get that so strong. And you're just sort of dethroning, I think, the man society, these sort of strict rules, the strict way of doing things. There's a black and white way, and you're like, no, there's so much gray area. And now I'm like so up for exploring and playing in that gray area. That's what I'm going to do. And you're dethroning this king, or it could be parts of yourself, a previous side of yourself. Okay, a previous side of yourself, or it could be somebody in a relationship that you were with saying, you know what, this doesn't really work for me anymore. It's too black and white. It's really boring. It's restrictive. It's not allowing me to creatively express who I am and to show my sort of kinky, weird, quirky side. That's a huge part of me that I've been suppressing for a really long time. We have number 15, we have appreciation. Okay, so again, we have that 4 of Cups energy, which is all about being discontent, being bored, not really appreciating all the stuff that you have. And I feel like this is that journey for you, is to appreciate and be grateful for who you are, what you can do. And I think it also is going to bring you back around to be grateful for your upbringing, be grateful for your things, etc. But not put the amount of, don't give electronics, new clothes, new cars, 3D stuff, 3D BS. Don't give it the agency or the power that you were previously giving it. Okay, and being more appreciative for, life, song, food, like things like that you're going to learn on this journey. Okay, the things that you learn when you put on a sackcloth and you go climb a mountain, and spend time meditating, And I'm being slightly facetious, but not really. I feel like some of you really are. Here we have number 42. We have another 6 card, woman holding a coin. Remember, 6s are their card of Venus. They're all about love. There's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of affluence here. I feel like you might be turning away from this woman holding a coin. I feel like you felt you were trapped in a situation, whether it was a relationship, whether it's your family, whether it was a job, but trapped in a situation because of material things and because of money. And again, with the 6 of Pentacles card, this is when somebody gives you just enough, okay, but not enough for you to grow and not enough to be happy, and it sort of keeps you stagnant. And you're like, I don't want stagnancy anymore. I have so much learning and growing to do and so much exploration. Look at this 2 of Wands, like I'm ready to go. I just need to choose the direction. Am I going east? Am I going west? Am I going north? Am I going south? But either way, I'm doing it. I'm getting out of here, and I'm it's like off the grid living, I'm dethroning that King of Swords. Second chakra, Archangel Ariel. This is all about your creativity. 36 breaks down to a 9. And 9s are all about completing a cycle, understanding. And we have that coming out with the Hermit card, which is also number 9. It's also the gestation period, right? For you to create a masterpiece or for your journey. For some of you, it might be having a child. But for some of you, it might be that time that you need to figure out who you are and express yourself or create your masterpiece and then be ready to bring it out into the world. Second chakra is all about exploring your sexuality and your intimacy and your creativity, all right, which is like everything I've been talking about and all about this Aquarius new moon. Really nice synchronicities in this reading. And then we have 41. 41 breaks down to a 5s, which are about fluctuation. They're about conflict. But the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, really talks about opening up to spirit. I feel like you got, or you're looking for, spiritual enlightenment, or you received some sort of download, some sort of message, either meditating or when you were doing something you loved or out of the blue, that sort of opened up your eyes to the, what was going on in your life and to the structures that you had to bring down, the structures that were keeping you stagnant. Okay. Now, I don't necessarily mean that this is starting an uprising, or terrorism or anything like that, but I feel like it's your attachment to the material world, that you were putting too much agency, giving too much power to things that now you're looking at as they're not important at all. You know what's important? Love. You know what's important? Music. You know what's important? My spiritual development. You know what's important? Taking care of others, or taking care of animals, or whatever it is, whatever path that you might be on. And I really, really love that. And I feel like this is coming from, this realization, this enlightenment is coming from source, coming directly. Like you heard or are hearing or are going to hear the message, the call for you to act and for you to make a change. Okay, and it's sort of, and I feel like, this appreciation and this woman holding a coin, I feel like that's you, or that's where you were before, or that's you in this very comfortable, affluent lifestyle. All right, or maybe you being given a lot of things and not really understanding the worth. And I'm not shitting on you about that and saying that you were so ungrateful, but maybe it's like time for you to strike out on your own and really start to understand the value, or figure out what is really of value and importance to you. Because we can go a lifetime, I did, going a lifetime not really understanding what was important to me, and when you have that sort of awakening, it's like, it's not clothes and shoes and iPads and phones, it's not that at all. So again, wow, 1 and 9, we have a 10. This is about pride. I think you're going to find a real sense of pride in this. I see a lot of purple coming out here. It's really picking up my amethyst here. Amethyst is about healing, but it's also about this pride for this new sense of understanding about the world. I think some of you are also starting to understand, or investigating, the 3D versus the 5D. Really on this spiritual journey, you guys, and it's a real sense of pride. And I'm also telling you that with all these angels showing up and your spirit guides and source, everybody's saying, we're so proud of you, Taurus, for the work that you've done or that you're doing. And then we have number 1, we have new beginnings. I think this is almost exactly, Libra got this card as well. So some of you guys might also really want to check out the Libra reading. Brand new beginning. I mean, yes, of course, it's everything I've been talking about. You guys have turned over a new leaf. You've gotten some sort of information, some sort of download, some sort of realization that's showing you, you know what? We can't continue the way that we were the way we were. Something has to change, and it's a pretty big change. All right, and I feel like with the tower kind of blocking you is like you might be a little bit afraid to bring that whole tower down, but Spirit's saying you can do it. You can do it. All right, experiments. Manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, and arrogance. Okay, so I feel like that's an energy that you might have been up against. Okay, again, that's that King of Swords energy in reverse. And some of you that might just be how you see, the material world or the 3D. For others of you, it could be like, I feel like it's a boss or it's a parental figure, or it could be a side of yourself, right? And like, I feel like also you're a little bit worried. You don't want to force this change, right? But Spirit's saying this change is coming. It's something that has started, but don't force it. Also go with the flow here. Okay. But it's interesting, because it does see like, I do feel like, either it's just really interesting because I do feel like this is something from your past. Like I kind of see this as you up against death, right? And this Scorpio is the death card here. So some of you might have Scorpio in your chart, but you up against this, I feel like it's scary for you. Okay. And it's scary for all of us. So for some of you, this might actually be a dark night of the soul. And it's going to be, it's a scary journey because it's the first time that you're walking around in the dark. It's the first time you've done anything like this. And I feel like it's a really major departure from what your friends and family do or think. And so for you, it's kind of like, you know, and I think some people might be seeing you as, you know, being cruel in what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, how could he say that about me? Or, you know, I'm thinking, like, I see parents saying that about their children, or you shunning sort of a group that you used to be with because you no longer, your like values are no longer aligned with them. Okay, and I see that it is a little bit frightening for you, but there's a major transformation that's taking place. Okay, and it has something to do with materialism. All right, farewell to the moon. Appreciate and enjoy the lunar light and cycles. So again, we do get the importance of moonlight in this reading. You know, we have the hermit here. He is, you know, he is only using the light of the moon and his inner guidance to show him the way. Okay, really, really important. And the moon card is also our Pisces. It can also be a Cancer card. But the moon card is all about, you know, letting your eyes adjust to the darkness so that you can then move forward. So not freaking out. And it can be a period where it feels really nightmarish, where it feels really scary. Okay, but all you have to know is that everything has a beginning and everything has an end, and that you will be guided throughout this time. So don't be so afraid, Taurus, because you are making some major departure. Okay, from something. It could be a relationship, it could be a way of being, it could be from your family. Okay, but let the light of the moon guide you, and understand that everything will have an ending. And you have two options, you know. You can either run around and freak out and be really scared, or you can just put one foot in front of the other, wait for your eyes to adjust so then that you can see and you can move forward accordingly. Okay, and you guys get the chest queen, trust and strategizing. Yep, so just trust yourself. Trust the path that you're on. Trust the information you've been given, okay, through your 7th chakra, through your crown chakra. Trust what you are creating. Be proud of it. Know that your guides and source, everyone is so proud of you for doing this. Trust this new beginning, okay? Even if it might be a little bit nightmarish, it might be a little bit scary. It's a huge departure for you, but you're going to be just fine. All right, Taurus, that's all I've got for you. This reading really took a lot out of me. It's like I can't remember even what I was saying. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to go take a rest. Please go give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, comment and share, ring that notification bell. Thank you guys for listening. I love you so much. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful, beautiful day.